Back again on the ALC Sidelines podcast. Can you believe we're already a month into this season? It feels like it's just flying by as we enter March. And this is where kind of the meat of the bone of the season really starts to get chewed on. You know, we have so many games that will answer a lot of questions later on in this season. We've already got some pretty big results as well from our wonderful ALC Division I and Division II teams. Some really great matchups we'll highlight in just a second. But please, before we do, remember to like and subscribe right here on the ALC Sports Network YouTube page. Do you want to see more content like this? I know that you do. So make sure you hit that like button and then the subscribe button. And every time you do that, you're going to get a notification saying, hey, we got a new episode of the ALC Sidelines podcast here with your host, Dan Zampano, of course. If you like that, go ahead and do that. Also like us on X, Atlantic LC, and on, of course, Instagram at Atlantic Lacrosse Conference. All the podcasts are also available wherever you get your podcasts, so make sure to check it out. But we really appreciate you, and what you give us is the ability to do all of these shows. Also, we have a new website at the Atlantic Lacrosse Conference. You can go onto that website anytime that you want to check out articles from any games. There's links to highlights, who is in charge of the executive committee of the ALC. It's a transparent but yet informative and really fun website. Talks about the ALC tournament going on at the end of April and information on that. So we'll definitely look forward to that. But please visit our website for any additional information about the conference. We also have, like we said, some score updates for you. Huge results coming out of some of these games here. Clemson and West Virginia played very, very recently, and West Virginia gave them a great ride. Got up 3-0 earlier in the game, but Clemson, who has been outstanding so far this season, got a 14-10 win against the Mountaineers. Big ones in Division II. First off, Wake Forest with a surprising big win, 7-goal victory over Charlotte, 11-4. We also saw a crazy output by Appalachian State, 33-8 win over Elon. How about that for App State? The boys in Boone know how to tickle the twine down there in North Carolina. We also got a really, really big result. UNC Wilmington played Coastal Carolina, and the reason why this was a big game was because these two teams played last year in the ALC quarterfinals of Division II. Most people thought Coastal Carolina should win that game. Not so fast. UNC Wilmington upset the Chanticleers in that game. Well, this was the rematch of that game, a playoff game from a year ago. And wouldn't you know it, it went to overtime. And how about Ryan Casella with the game winner for UNCW to keep them undefeated? Wow. We got an undefeated team here in Division II that looks really, really good. UNC Wilmington, what a season they've had, and we obviously had an opportunity to talk to them in an earlier episode. But we want to talk to Coastal Carolina today, actually, because even though they lost that game, they're now 5-1. They're looking like they're going to be in the top 10 of most of the coaches' poll in Division II. This could be a really, really good team that might be able, not only if they go all the way to Lynchburg and they perform well, even if they don't win at this point, or if UNCW doesn't win, we could be looking at maybe an at-large bid for one of these two teams if neither of them win it. That's how good both of those teams have been. But we're excited to talk today to a couple of players from Coastal Carolina. Matt Logan joins us. He transferred into Coastal Carolina a couple of years ago, and he's had a great experience. Maryland kid. Really fun to talk to him. And then, of course, Lucas Caldwell, who's only a sophomore, but is already making noise for the Chanticleers as well. So, yes, they're coming off a loss, but sky's the limit for the boys in teal down on the beach in Conway, South Carolina. Let's talk to a couple members of the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. All right, here with a couple members of the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, it is Matt Logan Sr. and Lucas Caldwell, who is a sophomore on the team. Gentlemen, greetings from Conway, South Carolina. It's nice to see you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
I know you said the weather is like iffy for this time of year right now, so I'm hoping you guys get to go out and and do a little beach bumming. I know you have some time off now before your next game.
Yeah, hopefully pretty soon.
Yeah, that would be great. So obviously this has been a great start for you guys. Off to a 5-1 start. Incredible. It seems like a lot of pundits around the country are saying the ALC in Division II is like wide open now. And I'm sure you guys are feeling really good about your chances at a conference title and a trip to Richmond later this year. Just overall thoughts from both of you so far about how the season has gone and getting a couple of big wins.
I think we have been off to a pretty good start. Obviously, this past weekend could have gone differently. But I think overall we're off to a pretty good start compared to this time last year. We've really just been trying to harp on competitiveness and being competitive day in and day out. So I think we've done a pretty good job at that, and it's led to some big wins.
It sounds like a great, season obviously ahead, and you've had great success, a couple of big wins. Talk to me about the team, some of the players that we should know, because honestly, at this point, being 5-1, you guys have a great chance to be in Lynchburg. But, if you guys want to, maybe talk about some of the players that you guys feel are players to watch that we might see later on in some really big moments, and maybe even in the MCLA tournament that could turn some heads outside of yourselves, of course.
So one guy that's really stood out this year, Matt Antonetti, he's an attackman.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the team last year, but didn't really play that much. And right now he's leading our team in points by a large margin. He's been having a great couple of games. He had 10 points against Kennesaw, and then I think he had another 11 against, FGCU?
Yeah.
I think, he's been on a tear early in the season. He's a transfer.
And then our goalie as well, Nick Anderson, he's standing on his head, doing really good in the cage. Big leader of the defense right now.
Yeah. Also, one of our midfielders, Chase Black, he's another transfer from Queens. He had a great season last year. I think he got second team all conference, and looking forward to hopefully picking that back up this season.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it sounds like we got a couple of great players. I know that we saw you a couple years ago at the ALC tournament, and it ended a little bit disappointing more last year, but you guys did make the trip to Texas in 2024. I know neither of you were on that team at the time, but there are guys on this team that know what it takes to get there, right?
For sure.
So who are, maybe some other vocal leaders? I know we remember Kyle McCall and other guys like that were on the team. Who are some of those more vocal leaders that are preaching to you guys, hey, like, this is definitely possible now after 6 games in?
Kyle's been doing a great job this year. Him and then Owen Bishop on defense. They were both on the team when we made it to Texas. And I feel like they've really been harping on getting back to that winning culture that we had 2 years ago that we didn't really have last year. And just, building off of all that.
There's also some guys like Wyatt Ralph. Maybe they don't play that much, but they have such an impact on the team that they're just culture guys, and they're bringing it back, and it's great to be around.
Yeah.
I love that you mentioned the word culture, because when we previously saw Coastal in the tournament in 22 and 23 and 24, rowdy, get after it, likes to talk a lot. We had some previous coaches on the staff that were very, flamboyant in a lot of the way they brought about a lot of energy when it comes to Coastal, right? And obviously there's a big fraternity and Greek life culture as well down there. And we know about that. We love it. We loved watching all the, the high energy. But what is the culture of this team in particular?
So when I took over as president, a lot of other people on the team could probably agree with me on this one. We didn't really have an identity last year. Mm-hmm. It was kind of a team with a bunch of new guys and new transfers that didn't really know what was going on with the rest of the team that was kind of riding the high off of the national tournament squad. And they kind of just, I guess, expected that we'd be that caliber again. So it just kind of ended up with going through the motions. So this year I really wanted to focus on building our own new culture.
I just think this season guys are a lot happier to be around. They're just, practice is more fun. People are, playing a lot harder than they were last year, and just we're louder, we're having more fun. It's like it's that party mentality that we maybe didn't have last year, and it's way more fun playing this year. Guys are yelling, guys are screaming, and it's been definitely been a big impact, and our record shows that.
That's awesome. What about Coach Brewer? You have this guy who is kind of a little bit of a legend. At least I'm in Virginia, so he's a pretty big name in the world of lacrosse around here. Obviously, his history at Langley and Fairfax and McLean and these big places, and 4-time state champs and all that. When you have a guy like that has an established resume of coaching success, what does that do for your confidence, and what specifically does he bring to you guys that you feel like puts you over the top to be a championship caliber team?
I feel like it kind of gives us what we didn't have in the past, which was like kind of like security. Like we didn't really have like the coaches in the past weren't really, it was like a student coach or something like that. Like we didn't really have like a guy that we could actually lean on and like look up to. It was more like a guy that we kind of looked at as maybe our friend. But yeah, just having Coach Brewer there actually leading us and giving us the wisdom that he has from his past is really awesome. Do you have any?
Yeah, I think something specifically he does that's great is he keeps us all level-headed. He knows when we're rolling to let us go a little bit, but he also knows when to pull us back. If something's too much or we're not putting in enough effort, he'll definitely get on us and implement drills at practice or like strategies, just something that helps the team a lot.
Yeah, of course. Matt, you have a unique experience because you transferred over from a junior college, right? And played high-level junior college, won a national championship at Hartford. Explain to me kind of the differences between that. And I know that it's not, NCAA D1, but obviously there's a really high standard being in that Maryland area and at the community college and junior college level with getting to a national championship. So what's the biggest difference now between that kind of culture and the culture that you're at in MCLA?
So we at Hartford, it was run like a Division I program pretty much.
Yeah.
So coming here and only having practice 3 days a week was kind of a big change, but I got used to it pretty quick. Anyways, yeah, it was just like waking up early, practicing 5-6 days a week, preparation and all that, film, meetings, everything, and then coming here and not having all that. In a sense, like more relaxing. Like I don't really have that stress of a national championship caliber program on top of me, but
you feel like the competitiveness is still there, though?
The competitiveness is still there, and that's one thing that we're really trying to harp on this year. I feel like last year, sometimes at practices, they're kind of lackluster energy, and this year we really wanted to focus on the competitiveness. We've really been harping on the word compete. That's kind of what our motto is this year. Competing in every drill we do on and off the field, no matter what we're doing, we're competing. In game, sideline, our sideline has to be louder than their sideline, just like competition in every aspect. That's a huge thing that we're into this year.
So tell me a little bit about your background. We'll do the same thing with Lucas here, but tell me a little bit about your background. Are you from Maryland as well?
Yeah. So I'm from like the Annapolis area in Maryland, so big hotbed for lacrosse.
Sure.
Kind of under recruited in high school, ended up going the community college route because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to play NCAA or just go to a school and have fun. So I went to play JUCO for 2 years, ended up having to take a third year there. And that's kind of where I figured out that I wanted to kind of take a step back and play club. But then, yeah, I wanted to find a school that was highly competitive. And I was looking at Coastal out of high school. So it was always kind of on the back burner in the back of my head. So making that decision was kind of easy coming out of Hartford. And yeah, I just wanted to go somewhere where we had the high chances of winning.
Yeah. I mean, were there any other considerations for you? Like why Coastal? What was the appeal? I
guess just it's near the beach. Like
that's an easy one.
Yeah. The weather's nice. And then, yeah, just high competitive D2 ball.
Awesome. That's great. Lucas, how about you? Obviously you're a little bit younger, but where are you from and why Coastal?
I mean, I'm from New Jersey, Cranford, New Jersey. It's in Union County, so we have some very good teams there. We weren't good, but some at Westfield are always publicly, nationally ranked. So playing those guys growing up 2, 3 times a year was definitely eye-opening to the levels of lacrosse. I kind of chose Coastal. I mean, a few of my buddies on here, they had a blast. And after high school, I didn't really know if I wanted to play lacrosse or not because we weren't winning much, wasn't very fun. And once I got here, found out we had a club team, and I'm glad I joined it. It's kind of showed me the love for the sport, and it's awesome being down here, having fun with these guys, winning games, and also just being near the beach and hanging out. There's just a great combination.
So coming into this year, if we go back to before the season started, you have that bitter taste in your mouth. The loss to UNC Wilmington in the first round. We expected you guys to be in Lynchburg. It didn't happen. The year before, you know that you guys are coming off of that MCLA tournament. You know, you got in, obviously didn't win a game, but it's still a big deal going around Rock and winning. Now the tournament's on the East Coast. You know that. And then on top of this, you have this game against UNC Wilmington last year. Obviously has a lot of motivation towards this year. And obviously we know that also that you didn't win that game this year, and it was a close game. It was an overtime. But those previous games that you guys had played this season, what was kind of the moment? Maybe it was in fall, maybe it was, earlier in the year, the App State game, the Florida Gulf Coast game, whatever it is. What's a moment for you guys this year to be like, okay, maybe we might have something here?
I think it was after the App State game. Mm-hmm. We went into that weekend, we played ECU and then App State the following day. Lost to ECU by 1. It's a pretty good game. And then we beat ECU by 1. Sorry. Beat ECU by 1. And then the following day came out and put up 19 on App State. And I think I looked at a lot of the guys that were on the national tournament team, and they all looked back at me and they were like, yeah, I think we're back. I think we have something. I think we have something good going. And then the following weekend we played in Miami and then put up 19 on both of them. And yeah, we've just been rolling since.
Yeah, Lucas, for you, do you feel the same way at that moment? Was there a moment maybe in the fall, or do you feel like that's the moment in that spot against App State?
I think beating East Carolina, because we came from behind by a few goals, so I saw there wasn't much quit, and then the following weekend Miami, it gave me a fail safe that we are really good. I didn't really, App State, they're good, but we put up a lot of numbers, so it's one of those games, and then we do it twice the next weekend. So that was kind of my thing.
Big spot there. Yeah, definitely a big spot there. So, obviously there's still a lot of time left in the season, right? So going forward, you look at, some of the schedule down the line. You've got, Bridgewater in a couple of weeks, and you've got Davidson. You still got that big game against Charlotte. That's going to loom large as well. And then a couple of more, conference opponents. What has to be the mentality going forward? You're going to have some time off here. And sometimes that's a good thing to get rest. Sometimes it's a not so good thing. Guys just, do whatever, Like what's the talk around the team right now about making sure that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed before you play another game?
I think we're really focused on just going 1-0 every day. So right now we're focused on Bridgewater State. We're focused on going 1-0 against Bridgewater State, and then we can worry about what happens after that. And yeah, I'm not really too worried about having a week off with spring break and everything. I think we'll come back pretty strong. What do you think?
I agree totally.
Yeah. Talk to me about, again, we hit a couple of players to watch, but offensively and then defensively, sometimes when I do these coaches meetings, I like to talk about literally just go through the lineup. Who are the guys, in that starting rotation, the attack, the midfield, the defense, and explain a couple of those guys and, what you guys have as a team. I could look at a roster and say whatever, but you guys know these guys personally and how they play. So can you give me some positive attributes of attackman, midfield, defense, and goaltenders, face-off, whatever you want there of a couple of guys that at each position there?
I'll go through the offense and then Lucas can go through the defense. Again, earlier I said Matt Antonetti. He's been going crazy. Him and Kyle McCall have really good chemistry this year. I feel like both of them are finding assists and goals off of each other. very often. And then we implemented a new offense. So I don't want to say too much about our offense, but it's just like the off-ball movement and everything, finding open guys. Chase Black, again, having a great season. I don't want to say too much about myself, but I'm also in there. And then
we'll let Lucas talk about you. Don't worry.
Okay. From the midfield, and then we have guys coming off the bench like Jordan Bush, who's very fast guy, can beat you down the alley. I mean, do you have any other guys that you think?
I mean, I'll talk about Max. He will talk about himself. Right. He does a great job just being the leader on the field. You know, you're always hearing his voice, and like I'm playing against him, and I never don't hear his voice. It was and like one more keeps him on the rock, things like that, and I think that's very important for our offense.
What about defensively, Lucas? Some guys back there, some of the poles, that you guys really rely on.
Yeah, we have a lot of great poles. Our LSMs. Xander Migias and Jack Bush, they've been doing amazing there. Our face-off guys have been controlling the ball really well. And honestly, our down D, all our polls are great, whether they're starters or backups. Everyone's working hard in practice, and I think that makes us better because, like, nobody wants to give up their spot. Some people have rotated and stuff like that. And as well as our defensive coach, Coach Feeney, he's been on us a lot this season, and it's shown, like, with our play. We've held every team to under 10 sets for UNCW, and it's been a lot of hard work down there, communication, just attention to detail that every single player brings. The deep mid room, they're all great. Everyone loves to work hard, get ground balls, and just do stuff like that, the little things.
Awesome. That's great. It's great to hear. Well, gentlemen, we do have a little bit of a trivia thing for you and see how well you know your school. Okay. So I know that we've done this in the past, and it's just a short one. There are only 4 questions here, but it is a little bit difficult. I tried to make this one a little more difficult because I thought you guys might be sharp. So 4 questions on Coastal Carolina. We'll start with the easy ones first. Okay. All right. Number 1, what is the female to male ratio at Coastal Carolina?
I think it's pretty high on the female side.
65.
Well, give me a percentage. Yeah. 65?
65, 35.
Something like that.
65, 35. You're close. I mean, is that Lucas's guess or Matt's guess?
I'll rep 70, 30.
Okay. You're going to go higher. Lucas would be closer. 56%.
56.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
56% female.
Close enough. I'll take it.
It's just, there you go. Number 2. We know baseball is famous at Coastal for winning a national title, right? I believe it's the only national title, team title, I would say, at the school. Sure. However, can you name the only club sport to win a national title back in 2009?
Rugby.
Nice, Matt. Very good.
I was going to say fishing.
Nah, rugby. Shout out Coastal Rugby.
There we go.
There you go. You go check out a rugby game ever?
No, I don't really know when they play, but their lines are always painted over our lines, and it kind of makes me mad.
Well, at least he's being honest. Okay. What about baseball? You ever go to baseball games at all?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure that's a huge.
Games are a great time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Number 3, what is the name of the professional wrestler that recently graduated from Coastal Carolina?
Wrestler?
He has 2 names, actually, really, but I'll take either one.
Coastal Carolina Men's Club Lacrosse alumni who's a semi-professional wrestler.
You care to give out his stage name there?
Chris Orton.
Chris Orton, that's true.
Yeah, CO2.
Yeah, that's awesome. This guy's the TNA Wrestling just signed this guy.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
I had never heard of him either, but in the research I did, it was like, okay, I guess this guy, AJZ or Mr. Elegance.
Mr. Elegance.
Yeah.
Never heard of him. I'll check him.
Your guess is as good as mine on that question, I guess. All right, this is the last one, and this will truly test your educational academic skills here.
Oh, no.
I know that's important to you. I'm sure you know what a Chanticleer is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like a rooster hen type thing. But do you know what literary story that kind of animal actually comes from, or was first called a Chanticleer?
It's like a mythical fighting rooster. Like it's someone fighting. I don't know what story though.
That's a really great guess right there.
I feel like we went over this in like some class.
Yeah, we definitely did.
It's a tough guess, and so I'll give you the answer. The Chanticleer is from the Nun's Priest Tale of the Canterbury Tales.
Oh yeah, that was never
because it was written in it was written in 1390. So I can't even imagine that you would know that. I had to at least throw a bone at you and see maybe somebody on there belongs on Jeopardy. I don't know. But the Chanticleer, and he fights with a fox, right? He dreams of his death, and the fox makes it come true. So it's actually kind of a sick story.
Yeah, I might look into that.
Yeah, I'm sure if you could read Ye Old English back then. So, but yeah, there's just a couple of questions I thought maybe pique your interest about Coastal Carolina. Now you can tell them the Canterbury Tales.
Yep.
Next time somebody asks. Gentlemen, I'll ask one final question. What does a successful season for Coastal Carolina look like in 2026?
Making it to nationals.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the goal, right? As always, and maybe making a little noise, making maybe a first ever MCLA national win.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll see.
That's the goal.
To be in the cards. You guys are looking fierce. You're looking like one of the top 10 programs in the country, no question about it. And obviously, one blemish on the loss, but a lot of people are thinking maybe you might have another crack at UNC Wilmington. We'll see maybe later down the line. But gentlemen, we really appreciate it, and we cannot wait to hopefully see you guys in Lynchburg coming up in late April. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thanks so much to Lucas Caldwell and Matt Logan for joining us. Obviously, it's a good life living down in the sand in South Carolina. So we look forward to maybe seeing them in Lynchburg and making a great tournament even greater with the entertainment that they're going to bring. Just a couple of news and notes here. Some games that will be going on. You might have heard a couple of things. First off, we got a game of the week coming up in the early part of March. Florida State is coming from the SCLC and traveling to Virginia. They're going to take on Virginia Tech early in that weekend, early March. I believe it's the weekend of the March 8th weekend. They're going to come to Blacksburg and play Virginia Tech. That is our game of the week. Right after that, right here as I'm talking to you, yes, right here on this YouTube channel, the ALC Sports Network, we will have our second ever broadcast of Florida State versus Liberty live from Lynchburg on Liberty Mountain. Florida State taking on Liberty. Right here is where you watch it on the ALC Sports Network. You don't want to miss it. We have so much fun on those broadcasts, so make sure you tune in that weekend. If you have a chance, go to Blacksburg. Watch that game. It's going to be great. But then come right back here on the ALC Sports Network YouTube page. Check out Florida State at Liberty. A good programming note. Yours truly, of course, on the call. We also have a big trip later in the year. If you want to watch a great weekend of lacrosse, get down to Knoxville, Tennessee for a great week. It's going to be Tennessee hosting Liberty, BYU, very well at that time, could be the number 1 or number 2 team in the country at that time, and Auburn from the SCLC. So all those teams playing each other down in Knoxville for a great weekend in mid-March. Make sure to check that out on the MCLA website. March 22nd, really big game as well for UNCW. They're going to take on East Carolina. That game, like we said, March 22nd in Wilmington. And then a big one in Charlotte to end the month. Coastal Carolina, these guys go play at Charlotte and take on the 49ers. That's on March 28th, so you're not going to want to miss that. We thank you for tuning in. As always, like we said, like and subscribe on our YouTube channel and like us on all social media pages. We'll be back for another edition of the ALC Sidelines podcast real soon. For my producer, Andrew Musser, I'm Dan Zampano. Keep on keeping on into the month of March as we keep rolling through this ALC season. We'll see you next time on the ALC Sidelines podcast.